Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie. On this channel, I cover topics all about personal growth, improvement, healthy habits, healthy routines, balance, and so much more. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and support my channel by subscribing and watching some of my other videos after you watch this video. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about daily rituals, daily routines to implement that will really make your life so much easier, save you so much time, and honestly just make you a happier person because you're going to build the discipline that you need in order to tackle the goals that you have set out. I want to specifically focus on building 4 daily rituals, 4 daily routines that you can incorporate throughout your day. So we're going to be talking about setting daily rituals for your morning, for your work wind up, for your work wind down, and for your night. So that's 4 total daily routines that we will be talking about. A lot of times we think that accomplishing our goals requires massive action all the time, but in reality, all it takes is building routines such as the ones we're going to talk about. It's about laying out those foundations, those baby steps, that when we do these small steps every single day, that consistency is what's going to give us results over a long period of time. I will go ahead and provide some free templates that I made that you can go ahead and download and use on your laptop, on your computer, or you can also just print them out. This will help you set up your own daily rituals and you will be well on your way to become more disciplined and achieve your goals. So let's start by talking about your morning ritual. So essentially we are building a morning routine here, and I previously made multiple videos about building your morning routine that is perfect for you. You can go ahead and watch those if you need some inspiration, but ideally what you want to do is select a number of activities that you want to engage in the morning, and you also want to dictate to lay out how much time you're going to be spending on those activities. And something I recommend is that you start by only setting a few goals, only having a few items in your morning routine, and make sure they are activities that you actually enjoy. You want to make sure that you're waking up in the morning to something that you look forward to. So an example of a morning routine that you can set out is inspired by the 2020 morning routine talked about in the book 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I discussed this a little bit more in one of my previous videos, but essentially the 2020 morning routine, what it entails is to spend 20 minutes of introspection in the morning, 20 minutes of education, and 20 minutes of movement. Like I mentioned, I go more into depth in this other video that I made, and you can go ahead and watch that if you're interested. But following these guidelines of this 2020 morning routine, what your routine can look like is to spend 20 minutes meditating and journaling. Maybe you can spend 10 on each. And for 20 minutes of education, you can watch YouTube videos on a new concept or topic that you've been wanting to learn about. So for example, I want to create generational wealth. So one of the ways that I want to do that is through real estate. So I go ahead and listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos about a real estate strategy that I am interested in. And now for your 20 minutes of movement, what this can look like is to do 5 minutes of stretching and 15 minutes of a workout. This can be at home or at your gym, or maybe you can just do full on 20 minutes of stretching or dancing or yoga or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. If completing 20 minutes for each of these seems like too much time, then you can tone it down and only do 5 minutes for each of these categories. I will provide another example that I had previously written, and this was a morning routine that I used to carry out and I loved it. I would do a 5-minute stretch followed by a 5-minute journal entry. Then I would do a 5-minute of meditation / saying affirmations out loud. Then I would listen to 10 minutes of an audiobook. I would spend about 5 minutes logging into my bank accounts just so I'm aware of what's happening, of how my money situation is looking. And then finally, I would spend 20 minutes eating breakfast and drinking my coffee, which was my favorite part. And I always like to round up because, things aren't perfect in the morning. So for me, that was about an hour morning routine. So if you only have 30 minutes in the morning that you can spend with yourself, that is hours, fine. You can spend 5 minutes here and there on certain activities that you enjoy, and that would really make you excited to wake up in the morning. But the important thing is to write down the specific activities that you select and to write down the specific time that it's going to take, so you have an idea of the amount of time required for you in the morning to spend time with yourself. The templates that I will provide will help you with this process because you can just use them to check off the boxes of the activities that you complete. And this may feel like a chore initially, but I promise you eventually it will just be second nature and it'll just be muscle memory, and you're just going to love it and you're going to feel so good because you are choosing to put yourself first in the morning before anything else, before going out into the world, before going to work, before going on social media. You are picking yourself. So the next daily ritual / routine that you want to implement is your work wind up routine. So I don't know about you, but oftentimes I can't just sit on my desk and start working. I don't know what it is. I just encounter all these blocks. Something that has really helped me is to build patterns that my mind is going to recognize and then understands that the next thing that follows those patterns, those rituals, is my work. So some of the things that I do for my work wind up are the following. One is I check my calendar for the day. I look at any meetings that I have or any of the main tasks that I have to take care of. This is just so I have an understanding of what today is going to look like. I also like to set the tone in my office or in my space. I like to make sure everything's cleared up. Usually I take care of this the day before, but if I didn't, I will go ahead and make sure that my desk is clear and ready for me to just sit in it and not be distracted by any mess. I also like to set the tone by lighting a candle or turning on my essential oils diffuser so that I just make it cozy and more welcoming to be in this environment. I also always make sure that I have a tea with me. I would have already drank my coffee in the morning, so I always make sure that I have a tea and some snacks, some healthy snacks with me to avoid getting up so often because I'm a big snacker. In addition to that, I like to make sure that I know exactly what it is I'm working on when I sit down. So I go ahead and review what I will be working on first, and then open up any tabs, any windows that I have to open in order for me to get the ball rolling. Your brain recognizes patterns, and if we dictate what patterns we want our brain to recognize, then that means we are in control rather than our mind being in control of us and us just operating in autopilot. So now let's talk about our work wind down ritual. So congratulations, you are done with your entire work day. You took care of the things that you had to in terms of work or whatever it is you dedicate yourself to. Now it's time to create that separation. Close it off, make sure that you prepare yourself for tomorrow so that now you can go into your free time, your personal time, and then later your night routine. So something that I like to do is I like to make note of anything that I didn't finish. So for example, sometimes I underestimate the amount of time that a task will take me, so I just don't finish it and I don't want to work on it for the rest of the night. So I will go ahead and take note of whatever it is I didn't finish so that I can go ahead and work on it tomorrow or allocate time later this week. The next thing I like to do is to just clean up my space. Usually I would have accumulated a bunch of mugs or a bunch of glasses of water and bowls of snacks that, I just ate throughout the day. So I will go ahead and clean up my desk and make sure that it's left ready for the next day. After that, I like to just reflect on everything I got done today. I will go ahead and look at my to-do list for the day or my 3 priority items for the day, and I just reflect on the progress that I made. Even if I didn't finish a task, I think it's important to remind ourselves like, hey, these were your goals for the day. This is the progress that you made toward accomplishing those goals, and I should be satisfied with that. And if I'm not satisfied with that, I can just quickly reflect on what were barriers, what were blockages in my day that didn't allow me to accomplish those goals. Maybe it's something that was out of my control, or maybe it's something that I could control. Like maybe I didn't manage my time or energy efficiently. Maybe I was too distracted with social media or with other tasks that could have waited and that weren't really priority items. But just having like a quick little reflection moment is very important because it's all about learning from our mistakes, learning learning from what was actually good so we can know what to implement into the next day. So if you are someone like me, you don't only work on work stuff. You have so many other goals, so many other things on the side that you're getting after. Like for example, for me, it's oftentimes real estate or something related to building my wealth, growing my portfolio, whatever steps that may involve. So if you're someone that also has a hobby or things like that, a good work wind down activity could be to prepare for the things in the evening. So just sort of getting an idea of what you will be working on in the evening is something that I like to do during my work wind down, because it reminds me, hey Ellie, you're gonna go wind down right now, but it can't be too long because you have these other goals that you have to get after. Okay, now let's talk about our evening/night routine rituals. Your main objective with your night routine is to just unwind and close that day on a good note. And I want to share 3 different ways in which you can make sure that you close that day on a good note. One thing is to set a time at which you're going to start unwinding and respect that time. So for example, if you know you want to be in bed by 10 p.m., maybe you should start unwinding by 8:30 p.m. Because the second important thing is to make sure you're in bed on time. So by starting your unwinding process earlier, you really ensure that you're in bed by the time that you ideally want to sleep at. Another really important thing to accomplish in your night routine is to prepare for the next day. Number 1 is to reflect on that day that you just are about to close. What worked? What didn't work? What were challenges you experienced? What are things you overcame? What are milestones that you hit today? What things are you grateful for? What was bad but really could have been worse? Really having this moment of reflection allows us to understand what we need to carry on to tomorrow versus what needs to stay in today. So having that point of reflection really prepares you for the next day. Another thing you can do to prepare for the next day is to lay out what needs to be taken care of the next day. Something that I like to do, and I've talked about this in my previous videos, is to go ahead and set those 3 priority items for tomorrow, as well as when I want to work on them. For example, maybe I know that in the morning I have more energy, so I'm going to allocate the activity that requires most energy of me in the morning, and then I will go ahead and allocate priority number 2 a specific time slot. So really identifying more or less how much time each of those 3 priority items are going to take and when you want to tackle each of those the next day is a very important exercise to carry out, and it really prepares you for the next day because you do not have to make those decisions, so you are less likely to experience decision fatigue, and also you already know what your day looks like. So as long as you are accomplishing those things at the end of your day, then you are solid. But of course, you can also sprinkle other activities of your night routine that you enjoy, and you write down how much time that's going to take, so you know exactly how long your night routine will take, and therefore you know at what time you need to start it to ensure that you're in bed by a specific time. So there you have it. Those are 4 different daily routines/rituals that you can lay out for your life. We had morning routine, the work wind up routine, the work wind down routine, and finally your evening/night routine. These will be very unique to you given what you enjoy, given what your goals are, but the important thing is that you take the time to write out very specific things, write out very specific times, and to respect that, because if you stick to that, then you will start building the discipline that you need to accomplish your goals. So go ahead and download those templates. The link is in the description box. These are free and they are really going to help you. So with that being said, if you like this video, go ahead and like this video. Go make sure to watch my other videos. I know you're going to love them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.